Hello everyone and welcome to Gierok Farms. In today's video we are going to start in on the Super M-TA project that we've been hinting at. Changing the tires. We're going to take the fluid out that's in there, paint up the rims, and kind of do a mini restoration when it comes to the rear tires and rims. What kind of fluid's in these?
I think they call that calcium chloride. If you look at the stems, they've been using this back in the 60s and 70s, and that's the reason the rims are rusty. So I was probably younger than you when we put these tires on with my dad. I know we painted the rims. We might have had to do a little fixing around the valve stem because of that. But then you get these real slow leaks. It doesn't take much, really eating things up. So the plan is, we got new tubes, new tires, and we got the heavier tubes, the Firestone, I think. So the tires are going to be the same. I think we repaint them up and cleaned up. We're going to put all that back together with new tubes and tires, and then I'm going to have a company come in and put this, they call it beet juice. It's a natural product. I mean, it's the kind of stuff you could, if it's spilled, it's good. It's not hurt the earth.
It won't rust and it won't freeze.
Some guys use antifreeze and different stuff too, but it's probably a toss-up on what's going to cost more. So that's what we got in, I know the 10, the Oliver, 686. We don't have any water in the Johnnies at all. In yours, I don't think there's no water in it.
Nope, no fluid in the Magnum.
He's not yet in it.
It's heavy enough.
Yeah, it's heavier. And that's part of it too, that this got a set of weights on, but we're probably somewhere up to here, I would say, on these. Typically, they can fill them just so the valve stem is like to here someplace. As far as my experience is, fluid weight is definitely your best traction, your best support or stability in really steep hills, because you gotta realize your steel weight's all right here. The fluid weight's down here on the bottom. A lot of comments about tricycle tractors in these steep hills. We got some extremely steep spots, and again, as long as you're not racing across it and using a little caution, that don't mean anything whether you got a tricycle front or a wide front. You'd think it would, but that oscillates in there. That does not hold your tractor from rolling over. The weight, center of gravity is down here. That's our advantage. So that's what we're gonna do. And these tires are getting bad, so then the plan is maybe later on this summer, these tires I want to put on our regular M, because our regular M does not have a high gear. It is a bit lighter. We do have 3 sets of weights on it, so we could probably use it for light jobs in most of our fields if we needed to. But right now it's usually used to move machinery around down in our other shed, which worked quite well. But the tires that are on are really cracked up there. They got tread on, but they're just...
Pinched a tube last year, caused some issues. We got it, holding there now, but...
Yeah, so these guys, as far as the health of the tire, they're getting there, but I think for what that M does, or what we're planning on doing with it, I don't want to have to stick Braden. I know guys that have been restoring tractors like this through the years, and they said tires is the most expensive part of the whole restoration. It doesn't really bring the value of the tractor up that much more if you were to sell it. So anyway, that's the plan.
All right, we're going to start tearing things apart and get towards the painting portion of it, at least today.
We did that out in the field.
I think we're going to spend more time trying to figure out this pump and how all that works and remember that than anything else on this project. We've had to use this before in the past with the Oliver. The valve stem got knocked off, so I think that was the last time this got used, was for that. We won't say who broke the valve stem off.
The rake did it. I'm going to try and get this so this don't splatter. There might be a little juice in the stem itself. See, this should come out by hand. My goodness, she's pretty tight. You ask those guys if they got their safety glasses on. Never try this at home.
Cross threads a tight thread, I guess. suck the tire down. We better break the bead before we keep pumping. Yeah, so we got it all tore apart on this side, and yeah, everything's in pretty good shape.
I'm really impressed. So I'm not sure, we did get some parts off an old diesel MTA way back. We might have ended up getting the rim off of that, which probably never had this solution in before we put that all together, because I'm sure that tube was new. It sure looked good yet, considering it was pasted right down. I never seen them that tight. And then for a rim to look this good after getting it all off. But you can see here we were grinding a little bit. We must have had a little something on there. So it wasn't its first time opened up.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. So now Mason's down here, we can work on that side and try to peel the rim itself off of the center. So let's keep working. All right, we got the rim off of this side here. We only had one bolt that was stubborn, but we got it. But then this side, Dad and Mason have been having issues getting this valve stem apart.
Can't get them threads to catch. Just put a big hole in the tire and pump it out.
Yeah, that'd be the last resort. It doesn't take a whole lot. Once that little adapter catches, then we can really start pumping.
Well, this is right
I have pipe thread. This is 1/8, so that's probably too small. It's always something. Never goes quite perfect. all the rims are off. We got our area cleaned up here, and I think that went pretty quick. That was maybe 2 hours total, and a lot of it was just fighting, trying to get the tool on the valve stem and trying to break some rust loose. But the tire themselves, they actually came off pretty nice. So,
pretty normal.
Yeah.
Pretty normal to have as long as this stuff's been on here and as old as it is. This is a 54 model. You know, even like these bolts and stuff. I mean, it's just, I don't know if these ever been off. I don't remember having them off.
Yeah, we only had one that fought us on the other side. Otherwise, this side came off pretty nice.
The rim from that side did look pretty nice compared to this side. This side's gonna take a little bit more cleaning up, but I think they're both healthy enough. That one we might have had off back in the 80s, and Dad might have found something.
So with this tire project itself, did you plan on putting any red paint on the...
So as of right now, I probably just hand paint the hub on each side, clean it up best I can, and same with the rims. If we're gonna go further, I think we're gonna wanna do more stuff here, right, Mason?
Oh, you started the other M. So,
when I was like 12.
so you're the paint guy now. Yeah, Mason inherited that.
I'm the paint guy that's never painted anything in his life.
Yeah.
Well, then you start with something like this before you paint something.
So if you tractor restoration guys watching have any tips or tricks on what tools to buy, we're not going to do this for a living, so we don't need the high-end stuff, but we'd want something decent that's not going to break right away.
Enough to get us through a couple projects.
Yeah, and paint too. Obviously, we got some for the other M, but you probably don't have enough for this one if we don't do that.
I don't know. Like I said, we never did this. You could probably buy a gallon and go all the way around this thing, but then that's maybe not the right way to do it. You know,
how thick of a coat and all that stuff.
So my brother did spray the hoods. We had that all took apart back in the 80s and did some stuff, and that was a farm and fleet paint. You know, my dad wasn't going to go buy all that stuff. We had this air paint. I don't even know where that is. One of my brothers might have tried to use it, but so we're gonna buy something nicer.
Mason was talking, Harbor Freight makes a sandblaster. Let us know if that's worth anything. 'Cause that would be nice if you were going to do a full restoration to actually sandblast stuff.
The thing you got to keep in mind is these tractors are still going to be used all over the farm, so I don't think it pays going too overboard, you know, as far as getting them showroom. I think this tractor's been painted 3 times from its original, and then I know there was some paint job done on it probably before I was born again. And then I did it back in, I think, 84. We were quite limited. My brother sprayed, I did a lot of hand painting. We never really, I did take some stuff off and try to, you know, make it look nicer than that. And that's just it. It's like, how far do you go? And we did end up getting a new battery box here. I mean, last year I put that on. I mean, the seat, we spent a little bit on that. I think to fully restore this, we could put more in it than they're worth, you know, for as you buying one that's really nice.
And since we're talking about tractor stuff, I know the Oliver guys watching are going to ask, because they've seen it in the hay videos, what was with the Oliver? What did we find?
Well, I think there's gunk in the tank.
Well, I took it apart yesterday. You were gone. But I did find a piece of the cork from the gasket in the jar. Now, I probably could have just took the clear bowl off underneath, but it was full of fuel, and I thought it's time to empty it completely. Just make sure there ain't some foreign object, something I thought maybe part of the fuel gauge assembly might have fell apart or something. Because it's just, you go, and then all of a sudden something's blocking the hole.
Yeah, if you found a piece in the bowl, where did that come from? There could be more upstream, and yeah.
I found a piece that was stuck down in there, so I blew all that out, and I felt pretty good about that. So something as little as that, it was just several hours taking everything apart.
So next time we get out into the hayfield, we should be able to try her out again.
Yeah. Now, as far as someone was asking about the antifreeze and the oil, I did change the oil here in the spring again. We haven't used it a lot yet because now there's a gas thing, so then it only raked a little bit. Oil looks good. The level looks good. I'm still not convinced that it's antifreeze.
It held pressure with the tester, so yeah, it's probably not antifreeze.
And it was so when it stood for a long time over winter, if you take the oil plug out real slow, and then the first thing that should come is green antifreeze. I would assume that it separates. So I don't know if for sure what's going on, if there's gas getting in the oil, or I actually think right now the way it runs and all that stuff, I don't believe we're hurting the motor by using it the way it is. Make a lot of oil changes for the price of an overhaul when it seems to have good power and sounds good.
So there's an update on the Oliver. But Dad's going to be playing with this project over the next couple of rain days here. You'll probably get the rims painted up and the hubs.
And I'll get that put back together. Then we'll get a company to put that beet juice in these too. So this one will be ready for the hills.
Well, there you go. It was a fun video in the shop today in between, when we can get into the field. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support. Leave your comments down below. We really appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.